you know, I do feel like at times there's only so much you can do in terms of, making a haunted swimming pool interesting. Uh, for example, I mean, you're only getting messed up if you're near the swimming pool. But once you find out there's some creepy stuff going on with the swimming pool, newsflash, Ryan's not going in it anymore, and more than likely moving. Hey, what's going on, folks? Another episode of Ryan Reviews Everything, and this is the first, drum roll please, first video I am dropping on in the new year of 2024. First movie that we are reviewing is Night Swim, and it was a decent movie, I'll give it that. If you're not familiar with it, this is about a family who moves into a home, and they found out that their pool is haunted. And before you just jump out the window and say how corny that sounds, I definitely, applaud the attempt at just a new concept. Because how many times can you do a haunted house, or how many times can you do a haunted hotel? Why not throw a haunted pool in the mix? But we'll get into it. This stars, what's my man's name? Wyatt Russell. If you're not familiar with the name, but maybe you've seen him around before, his IMDb is pretty extensive. He's currently in the he's currently in a show on Apple TV. The name escapes me, but what I remember him for is Under the Banner of Heaven, which also came out last year, and he was extremely creepy in it. Wouldn't surprise me if he did some type of method acting for that role. And this is directed by Bryce McGuire. Not familiar with his work too much, but this is, I think, maybe one of his bigger projects. So let's get into it. As I mentioned earlier, this movie is about a family who moves into a home, and they realize that their pool is haunted. And, I'll start with, some pros and cons. But let's start with love first. I'll give it some pros. I do think it was a good concept, a good storyline. In terms of a fictional horror film, the storyline was pretty believable. I really did like. There's just a concept of the whole haunted pool theme. I did think that was a good attempt. And once again, you got haunted everything else. Why not throw a haunted pool in the mix? But the cons, just like the majority of horror movies, not everyone makes the best decisions in terms of that. And, I do feel like at times there's only so much you can do in terms of making a haunted swimming pool interesting. For example, I mean, you're only getting messed up if you're near the swimming pool. But once you find out there's some creepy stuff going on with the swimming pool, newsflash, Ryan's not going in it anymore, and more than likely moving. So I do think that was kind of a challenge throughout the movie at times, because it's like, all right, it's a swimming pool. You're only getting messed up if you go in or near the swimming pool, So yeah, there's that. And like I said, in terms of like characters making mistakes or making dumb decisions, like most of us do, I'll put it like this. Just because you see this movie and maybe you're afraid of swimming, you shouldn't walk away from this movie thinking like, see, that's why I don't swim now. Listen here. Of course, this is a fictional movie anyway, but let me tell you something. I know family members and friends who, are afraid of swimming, and they stopped swimming because maybe too much water got in their nose or something like that. So if you're telling me that I go into a swimming pool, something creepy grabs my leg, I'm gonna still rock with a swimming pool? Nah, I'm not doing that. There are a couple scenarios to where each family member, outside of the father, but the mother and the two kids, they have scary experiences with the swimming pool. And actually, I guess in hindsight, they really don't mess with it anymore. But maybe put their toe in it a little bit throughout the movie. But still, it's a wrap. The moment I find out something haunted has grabbed me in the swimming pool. yeah, man, I really think that it was a movie that I'm not mad at. And mainly I'm not mad at it mainly because of just the attempt of trying something new. You know, I do feel like you know, for starters, I am starting to get superhero fatigue with all these different movies from Marvel and DC and this and the third. In terms of a horror movie, as I said earlier in this video, how many times can you really do a haunted house type of movie? Which is yet another reason why I enjoyed Talk to Me last year. So I just enjoy the attempt at trying to make something new. That's the best way I could put it. You know, no, I thought about saying spoilers, but I don't feel like that's really necessary. I did like the history of once you find out. You know what? Forget it. I know I'm all over the place. I will give one spoiler. You know, that really did get on my nerves a little bit. At some point in the movie, and so if you're still here, you already got the spoiler alert warning. At some point in the movie, the wife finds out the real history about this swimming pool in the backyard after already noticing some somewhat funky stuff going on with the swimming pool throughout the movie. She finally finds out about the true history of it. And first off, I know if you're not familiar with it, I keep hearing different things, like it is your responsibility to find out what really went down in certain properties. It's not necessarily a must that realtors disclose every little detail about the house. So like if you're living in a house and you found out somebody got murdered, you know, the realtor isn't necessarily responsible for being, you know, forthcoming with that. And if I'm wrong, hey, let me know in the comments. But anyway, you know, the realtor does give her a little confession that she did know that, you know, some people drowned in that pool back in the day, this and the third, mysteriously drowned. And first off, realtor responsibility or not, I'm surprised the wife didn't beat the realtor up for that. But yeah, and then you just find out the history of it. You realize that the water this pool is actually placed on like this natural spring resource, nature resource or whatever. And something about that is, on one hand, giving you healing powers, or, you know, it's giving you fast healing like your Wolverine. But on the other hand, you know, you might have some ghosts who might fuck with you a little bit in the pool. So it's kind of like pick your poison, I guess. But you really find out that the water definitely has like a mind of its own. And you find out that it actually requires a sacrifice in order to keep doing what it's doing. And I'm going to leave it like that. I've said too much already. If you saw it, let me know what you think. Overall, I'm not mad at it. Overall, I thought it was a decent watch in terms of a scary movie that tried at a different angle. Love it or hate it, folks. That's my review. Peace.